humans, my name is Dael Kingsmill. I often do D&D videos here. There's a lot of new folks around. I see you. Welcome. But today I'm actually doing a mythology video, so this is, fair warning to all you folks that I don't only do D&D, but I think that you'll enjoy the other stuff too. So here we go, let's get into it. Thor and the other Norse gods are looking to party. When these guys party, this is like frat movie levels of party. This is a full-on kegger they're looking for. But they don't have any ale of their own, so they're like, where are we gonna find some beer? They start, pulling out the gizzards of animals, snapping off twigs, dipping them in blood, all these very old-school, slightly taboo methods of divining information through magic, casting of the bones, all that. And the bones tell them, they say, the place where you're gonna get the most booze is at Aegir's house. Woo! Party at Aegir's! So they show up to Aegir's beach house. Aegir is like a sea god. They crash through the door and immediately start partying. They're drinking everything he has, everything they can find. But there's not enough. There's not enough for this many gods. Do you know how much beer that takes? Thor grabs Aegir and he looks him dead in the eye and he says, "You are going to give us beer, okay? Always, forever, forevermore, beer. Okay? Beer." Aegir's sick of Thor. He's such a jock. Aegir says, look, if you want more beer, we're gonna have to brew more beer. And for this crowd, this party you're looking to throw, we're gonna need a cauldron, big as a sea. We're talking fathoms deep. Thor says, right. Where do I get one of those? Tyr sticks up his hand, or, lack thereof, and says, oh, actually, I know where we can get one. My dad has this wicked collection of kettles and pots and stuff. He's got this one, it's huge. It's so big. It's like a mile deep, man. Thor says, friggin' A, dude, let's go. So Thor and Tyr head off to visit Tyr's dad, while already slightly drunk. Off they trot to the land of the giants. Hymir, Tyr's dad, was a giant. And they get to Tyr's old house, and his grandma's there, and he hates his grandma. She has 900 heads for some reason. I assume he hates her because she gives 900 grandma smooches. She won't come up again. But also Tyr's mother is there, and she's all bedecked in gold, beautiful blonde locks and all. And she says, honey, it's so great to see you. Love that you're here, love getting visits. However, your dad's been having a real tough time getting through the hunts. It's been a harsh winter, so he's gonna be a bit stressed when he gets home, all right? And having guests immediately upon arriving home, that's just gonna add to it. So maybe you two should hide, just because he's about to come home. So Thor and Tyr hide in the really big kettle, in amongst the kettle collection, behind a stone pillar. They've got layers here. And as they try to shush their own drunken hiccups, Hymir shows up, and his beard has frozen in the icy winds as he's been hunting. And he walks in, and even though it was Tyr's mum's idea for the two of them to hide, she immediately says, Hymir, we have guests. Your son has come home and he's brought Thor with him. Hymir immediately wants to kill something. He turns around and he looks at the pillar, the stone pillar that the two gods are hiding behind, and I guess he turns on his laser vision because the pillar crumbles and all of the pots around them crumble to dust. The only one that doesn't crumble is the big strong one that they've been hiding in. So the two of them stumbling out, and Tyr says, hey, Dad. We need to, could we, would you mind if we just borrow your really big kettle? Why do you need to borrow my really big kettle? It's for a party. I mean, no reason. Hymir grunts and says, sit down, we'll eat dinner first. He goes out and he slaughters 3 whole cows for them to make dinner with. And Thor, on his own, eats 2 of them. Great, goes Hymir. Now, for the rest of us to be able to eat, we're gonna have to go out hunting again. Thank you so much. Thor's like, hey, no worries, dude, no worries. I can just, there's a bay out there. I can just go fishing. You got a boat? You got a fishing rod? You got some bait that I can use? Hymir says, fine. If you want to go fishing, There's some cows out there. You can slaughter one of the cows and use it as bait, I guess, if you really want to. So Thor stumbles outside into the snow. He sees the herd of cattle and he sees a really, really pretty black bull and he immediately rips off its head. Unfortunately, this was Hymir's best cow. It was like the bull of the herd. Thor, really bad at making a good impression. Hymir's like, that's it! You're not going without supervision anymore. You can't be trusted. So Hymir and Thor head out into the bay in Hymir's little boat, and they start fishing, and Hymir immediately catches 2 whales on one line because he's just like the best fisherman ever. But Thor, not to be shown up, is like, you think that's cool? Check this out. And he ties the fishing line around the bull's head and he throws it into the water and immediately gets a bite. And he's feeling real smug about it, starts to reel it in. And it turns out that he has caught Jörmungandr, the Midgard worm, the serpent that encircles the world. So the serpent's angry, Thor's screaming, he's trying to wrangle this fishing line. The serpent is pulling on the line so hard that Thor, trying to pull back against it, sticks his foot through the bottom of the boat. Here we get one of my favorite pieces of ancient art. This is ancient art of Thor with his little hammer. Isn't that the cutest? And he's caught Jörmungandr, and this is his foot sticking out of the bottom of the boat. Isn't that just adorable? So anyway, it's a mess. Hymir gets knocked out of the boat at one point, has to climb back in. He ducks under the fray, and he cuts the fishing line, letting Jörmungandr go free, and the serpent slips back under the waters, and the water starts to still again. Thor pulls his foot out from the bottom of the boat. Presumably, it begins slowly filling with water, and the 2 of them make their way back home with Hymir on the oars, neither of them saying a thing. Hymir is so angry, and Thor is so embarrassed that the 2 of them just don't say a word. It's the most awkward boat ride you could possibly imagine. They get back home, and Hymir's like, all right, I've had a chance to cool down. If you could do this one thing for me, that would be great. I've got 2 whales here and a bunch of equipment. Could you help me carry things back to the house? Please. Thor is so eager to prove himself that he carries both whales and the boat and the oars and he carries everything all on his own. Just, I got this. And trots on back to the home. Hymir is not impressed. I'm sure you could have guessed that by now. He thinks that Thor is showing off, trying to show off how strong he is. And Hymir says, I will never call a man strong until he can break my crystal chalice. He's got this glass chalice that I don't know if it's really glass, man. I think it's got to be made of like pure diamond or something, because it will not break. He's like, if you can break this, then I will agree that you're a strong guy. And he gives Thor this chalice, and Thor is swinging it around the house, smashing it against every pillar he can see, every stone pillar, and it just cracks through every single one. Why won't you break? The house is in ruins. Completely destroyed. Tyr's mum is not happy with how this has gone. She says to Thor, why don't you try hitting my husband across the head with it, since his skull is clearly the thickest thing in existence? And Thor takes her literally, and he bashes Hymir over the head with it. So at this point, Thor and Tyr, they've shown up uninvited. They've eaten all the food. They've killed the fancy bull. They broke the boat. They smashed all the pillars. The pot collection is in tatters, although that one's kind of on Hymir, really. And now they've knocked out the host with an unbreakable glass. It did break on Hymir's head, actually. Fun fact. At this point, they decide that they should probably just grab the kettle and run. Tyr tries to lift it, but he can't get it off the ground. It's just too heavy. Thor manages to lift it over his head, and he's in the cavity. His head is and the handles are down here near the ground, and he sort of hobbles about and manages to get it outside. For a quick trip home, I like to imagine that the 2 of them turned it on its side and they just hamster wheeled on home, and they finally make it back to Aegir's house, where the party is still a-ragin', and Aegir begrudgingly brews them up more ale. And so the greatest frat party, possibly in all of mythology, is free to continue. Oh good, I'm sure that won't end badly. That's it for that story. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, hit all the buttons on the you know how YouTube works. Apart from that, I believe that's it. I'm done. Email this to your grandma, all 900 heads of her, and I will see you some other time. See this? I love this. It's me. It's me. Huh? Uncanny.